right now is UFC bantamweight Julia Avila. Julia, thank you so much for the time. You're back on. How you doing?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready for this. 2 weeks and count down the days.
For sure. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to talk about some things that happened that transpired over the weekend at UFC 259. The first thing is Amanda Nunes goes in there, submits Megan Anderson in the first round. Did you expect that to happen? Did you expect a submission?
Oh yeah, I called it from the beginning. I knew that Amanda didn't want to stand with Megan. She's a big girl, so just chop down the tree, get her to the ground, and I think her ground is not the greatest. Megan's isn't, and so it was an easy win, easy game plan.
Now, as a 135er, there's a lot of talk of 145 as an option for many of the women. And as of late, have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about maybe the path is shorter to the title at 145? Maybe I should just jump up there one or two fights?
For me personally, I don't think 145 is my weight class. I think that it is an option for a lot of girls. I know a lot of women don't want to make the cut or can't, and it's physically taxing, and as our bodies change and as we get older, it just gets harder and harder for us. So I think there's a lot of potential for the 145 weight class, but we just need to invest in it a little bit more. I don't think that the UFC as a whole is really putting forth their best effort. But I mean, in the same regards, like the other divisions are really, really picking up. So that's why I don't think that the focus is there. It's not for lack of talent or a lack of people. It's just that there's, other exciting divisions, like for instance, the flyweight. Even the flyweight is way more interesting right now with all the shakeups and people moving in there from other divisions. So I just don't think the focus is there right now.
So when you see people online saying that they should get rid of the 145 division, this was the last fight in the 45 division. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's pretty ridiculous. I think they're selling a lot of girls short. There's a lot of girls that were signed to Invicta that haven't come into the UFC. And Bellator still has a very successful 145 division. If they can make it work, why can't we?
No doubt, no doubt. Now, the other big news out of that card was Peter Yan's DQ against Aljamain Sterling with the illegal strike. Knees to a
Yeah.
grounded opponent. Should they be legal?
No, no. I mean, that's the long and short of it. A grounded opponent, like it's easy to get caught up in the moment and everything, but you don't need a grounded opponent. It's not a street fight. Like there's still rules to it. Like, you know.
That was a historic moment because Peter Yan's the first fighter ever to lose his title off a DQ. So it's pretty insane.
Oh, I hadn't realized that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Wow, that sucks. Well, it's good to be the first for something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What about the calf kicks, though? A lot of people are talking about we should get rid of those. They should be illegal. Do you think so?
No, no, leave the calf kicks. Learn how to check them. Like, that's just people being dumb. Like, learn how to check a kick. It's not that terribly difficult. Now, see, the difference between there is that you can't defend a knee to the head, right? There's no logical way of doing that. Whereas with calf kicks, you just turn your shin out. What was it? Weidman broke Silva's leg with a check. I recently injured one of my teammates with a check. Like, you just defend yourself properly and intelligently. You can't do that with a grounded opponent.
Is that something that you've always been training, the calf kick, or is it just something that you recently added to your training? What is the situation with the calf kicks yourself?
Oh, I love them.
Hmm.
I try to use them as much as possible. But then again, my teammates get savvy to them. So I have to evolve my game. So I'm just trying to score points however I can. But yeah, I love them. I use them quite often.
All right. Now, after your last fight with Sajara Eubanks, you became a full-time fighter. How was the transition from balancing work and training to 100% focus on fighting?
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how much I was working and how much I was putting my body through all this rigor and not recovering. Recovery has never been an important part of my development, because I was young and I could just go and it'll be fine. I could recover while I'm working, and I realized in my performance and in just every aspect of my career right now how much better I am, and how my development as a true martial artist and like a full-time martial artist is just that much better. So I'm really, really excited to showcase that. And, hopefully it does show, but we'll see.
What does the recovery look like? Are you into the like the ice baths or the high, cryotherapies? Or are you doing everything?
Gosh.
Red lasers?
Yeah. Lasers. So I would love to say that I'm fully vested in doing ice baths and everything, but I hate with a passion being cold. I will, punch my husband as I'm getting into the ice bath, and he's like, "There's only an inch of water." Um, but I am trying. I am putting forth my best effort to doing that. Um, so I do that, but I also massages, actually sleeping 8 hours instead of 4, and just random stuff like that.
Oh, that must be a huge difference. The sleep, especially.
Yeah, because I sleep only 4 hours, and now I finally get to sleep a full 8 hours, and it's amazing. I don't think I've been able to do that since middle school.
Do you take naps too? I know a lot of fighters, they take naps during the day between training. That helps a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still train, a full 8 hours, and I train whenever I can. And actually, my husband gets really upset with me, but I can sleep afterwards, and it's wonderful. I have recovery. I finally have recovery. So we'll see what kind of athlete I can be with all that recovery.
Definitely, definitely. Now, your upcoming opponent, I believe her name is Julia, but it's spelled differently. And
Yeah.
she's a tough 28 veteran. When you got this opponent, when you get an opponent, I mean, what are the steps you take to understand what you're facing?
So now at this level, I'm pretty familiar with most of the names. So I'll immediately think back to the most recent fight that I've seen, because I follow all of Invicta, I follow all of the UFC, and usually I've seen them fight, and I go, "Oh, cool! That's the girl that just fought Yana, or that's the girl that had that bloody fight with Lisa Rabosa." Um, and so I just remembered those two fights, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be awesome. I get really excited, and I start immediately looking up as many fights as I can, start seeing, breaking down their game plan, talking to my coaches, and just pretty much general insight on what most fighters do.
All right,
So
some film study, and just your
yes.
off memory for you because you pay close attention to the promotions.
Oh, I love watching bantam
Mhm.
fights. It's one of my favorite things, because it's watching my peers, my work group. So I pay attention.
Definitely. She has a lot of arm bars, a lot of arm bars. She's also,
8
yeah, 8, and also fought Lethway, which is very uncommon for a lot of
headbutts.
women. Yeah, with headbutts. What is your breakdown of her, the skill set? Because it's a unique one.
Well, she does have a lot of arm bars, but she has a lot of arm bars against people who have no jujitsu background. And the people that she has to run arm bars on, for instance, Yana and Lisa, she couldn't finish them because they have a jujitsu background. So I just got to be aware. I mean, she's a brown belt, so I can't, shake my head at that. And she's a great fighter. She's a tough fighter. She loves her elbows. She Lisa can attest to that. And she loves her arm bars, and I just have to be hyper vigilant. I have to be hyper vigilant, and just be aware of where she's at. She also likes to jump guard in MMA, which is very unique, very ballsy. Yeah, she's a funky fighter. I like her. I'm really excited for this matchup.
Are you more excited in the possibility of these ground exchanges? Because you do have some crazy jujitsu yourself.
Thank you. Not a lot of people will mention that, so thank you so much. Um, yeah, I really want to redeem myself. My groundwork, my last fight was not the best. I did suffer an injury, so there was a lot preventing me from showcasing what I am capable of doing. Also, Sarge is a badass, so she just capitalized on my flaws and did great. But I think this time around, I am going to be able to showcase a little bit more with my groundwork. I am pretty vicious on the feet. I want to be able to show that I am vicious on the ground as well. So yeah, I'm just ready for it to happen, honestly. Whether it be standing on the ground in the cage in the clinch, I just want it to happen.
When you rewatch fights, do you watch them with the commentary on or off?
Oh, um, honestly, I haven't really paid attention to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, because I watch it anywhere. I'll be like at the bank,
Mm.
just waiting in line, sit and watch it on my phone. It's like, what are you watching? Oh, there's blood. um, yeah, I guess with commentary off because
Mhm.
oftentimes it is muted.
Mhm.
So I mean, I just break it down, rewind, fast forward, this and that. So,
Yeah, a lot of people they get annoyed by the commentary. Have you ever been annoyed by commentary watching your fights back?
oh gosh, I don't watch my fights very often.
Okay.
I know I need to.
Mhm.
I just get embarrassed by what I do and how I act.
All right, now with Texas, right? Texas was recently hit with some harsh winter weather. Was Oklahoma affected any?
Oh yeah, we were hit pretty hard. Now the only reason that Texas was hit a little bit harder is because their infrastructure was not prepared for that. Oklahoma will get ice storms every once in a while, but we got hit pretty hard. We shut down for I want to say about a week. You know, it was pretty bad. And it was just as bad in last October. We had an ice storm that took out all these trees. So, yeah, it was hard. But luckily, I have a home gym and I made my husband move all of our weight stuff inside into our living room. I was lifting indoors. We had, the heat going on and everything. We didn't lose power very often, only a couple hours here and there. But yeah, I got my training in.
With you being able to train full time, you must have added different components to your training, or maybe additional gyms. Have you did that for this training camp?
Yeah, I actually did extend or expand my training regime a little bit. I have incorporated and have been cross training with a couple of different gyms in the local area. I reached out to a bunch of black belts and brown belts all across the state, and we've been working together for my armbar defense. And I've been reaching out even over Zoom conferences. I've been reaching out to other black belts that I've know and I trust with just picking their brain and everything. So really, it's a Panda Nation community get together. So everyone's really been helping, and we're I hope to represent them well.
Yeah. Speaking of jiu-jitsu and black belts, what about the Gordon Ryan slapping Andre Galvao? Wasn't that shocking? Because I've met Andre Galvao, I've interviewed him. He's one of the nicest guys. You very respectful, and I didn't expect that to ever happen. Did you?
Oh my god, the memes that came out of that had me dying. But yeah, I was shocked. I heard about it and I said, "There's going to be a murder." But did anything ever come to fruition from that? Do they have a super fight set up yet?
No, nothing. I don't even know if they're
Ugh.
gonna do it. I think Gabby Garcia was calling out Gordon Ryan too at the same show. So there's some
Oh
wild
my
stuff going
god.
on.
Yeah, now everyone wants a piece of them.
Yeah. I guess that's good and bad. He's kind of like the bad boy. So we'll see what happens.
The drama, though, the drama. I cannot.
Yeah. Now with yourself, this coming fight, how do you see yourself bouncing back against Julia?
Bouncing back into the ring. I don't know. I'm really confident in my skill set and my coaching. So it's, and I'm really confident in how I've taken this approach as a full-time athlete. But, you can go in there and have a game plan. And what was it? Mike Tyson says everyone has a game plan until they get hit. So eh, I do feel very confident, and I know it's going to be tough. And I think that's what I'm really, really looking forward to, because I like being tested and I like learning. And so, what better way to do it?
Now, your first year as a full-time athlete, fighter, are there expectations that you put on yourself because you have concentrated 100% into this?
Yeah. It's this is what I have. This is how I support my family, and it's gonna be a difficult pill to swallow if I can't live up to my expectations. Because I've invested so much into this, and so many other people have invested so much into this. So uh, I've always been the go-getter, the golden child, the one that, meets deadlines and exceeds expectations. So if, I fail at this, then what do I have? What's it all for? So it's very, I mean, this is what I have. This is who I am. So it's all or nothing.
It's still kind of like just the start for you, right? It's not like you're in the middle of your career right now. It's still in the beginning stages, right?
Well, I mean, I would love to fight for as long as humanly possible, but I have to think of longevity. I do want to start a family at some point. So I think realistically, I have like a good 5 years in me. Um, and if we have another pandemic or a world war or something, how, because it was this time last year that my fight got canceled like 4 times, and then another 4 later on in the year. So I only got to fight twice last year because the world shut down. So, things are unpredictable, but realistically, within the next 5 years, I want to have the type of career that leaves a legacy.
March 20th, UFC Fight Night Las
Yes.
Vegas. Thank you, Julia, for the time, and all the best. I really want to see what it's like to see the Raging Panda at, 100% training, full camps, all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Take a move in the ring. You got hit